Hello, everyone. My name's Hank Suttala,
And I'm Casey McBride.
and we're here with a long overdue episode of Stir Crazy Shamans. Hello, everyone. Wow, it has been, how long has it been since we actually got to talk to each other on a stream?
I think months, at least months. It's been a while. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think officially the Stir Crazy Shamans will be taking summer breaks, but we will definitely be on a lot more often. And we want to thank everyone for tuning in when you tune in, whether it's on the live now or on the replay. Wow, where to even start with all the amazing things going on?
Oh my gosh, there's been so much magic and so much fun, and just so many adventures have happened since we've been on last. Yeah. So the apprenticeship has been amazing. I've been initiated into this incredible tradition, the Paco Kuna tradition, and just have made so many incredible connections, not just with my fellow classmates, but also with these powerful ancient spirits. And it has really just further changed my life absolutely for the better. And Hank and I have been on some pretty fun adventures just on our own as well.
Yeah, we a lot of hiking, and we went to West Virginia, and we totally brought all the stuff. We were like, "Oh, we're gonna stream and record all these things." We didn't. We, we were too busy, like out kayaking, and that brings up just one thing: an amazing shamanic note. The hummingbird is such an important symbol in the tradition that we are apprenticing. It's like the symbol of a connection to Wiracocha. And there was this one time while we were in West Virginia, we were out on these kayaks, and my son Max fell off the little boat twice. And the second time, like, I'm having such a hard time getting him in, and I have to exert so much force that I know, like, if I slip right now, like if something happens and he goes in the water, I'm going off the other side of the boat. And I pull him and I finally get him up. And at that moment where I'm just like, oh, thank you so much. Like, because he's in his boat, this hummingbird just flies out of nowhere, stops right above his head, like looks right at me, and then zips off.
That's amazing.
And I'm just like, wow, like, I know that there was like a little, like, without even asking for the assistance, that there was like this little magical moment where he got into the boat with ease, and then we got to shore. But it was such a great symbol of that connection of how things always are going to work out, even if you are scared in the moment or think something bad's going to happen.
Oh yeah, and it's funny because the theme of that trip that happened, because I like to like when I'm out hiking or kayaking, I kind of like to keep a decent pace, because I've done a good amount of actual like backpacking, where it's if you don't keep on a certain pace, you're going to run out of food and water, so you can't really be dragging your feet. And also I like to get like the exercise and stuff. I kind of get in my rhythm. So we were originally together kayaking that day, and then I was like, well, I'm gonna go ahead a little ways and catch up, and then like I'll see you back later. So I'm paddling away like back toward where we are supposed to like dock and meet back and all that stuff. And I'm looking back and I'm like, man, they are not moving. And I actually had the thought at one point of like, I don't even know if I see his kid in the kayak. Is he like laying down taking a nap or something? And I know that was one of the moments he fell in. So it was hilarious to learn in retrospect that he fell in the water.
Yeah, twice. Well, I try to, how they have those little ropes on the boat so you can like tie it to the dock. I thought, well, since he's having a hard time, I will connect our boats, and then I will continue going to shore. So once he was connected, he thought, well, I could just like have a snack or something. So he like takes out, he's like munching on something, and then a boat goes through the middle, and this big wake comes out of nowhere, and it just rocks his boat. He flies off, his cookie goes everywhere.
Oh man, yeah, we had some interesting spirit shenanigans happen at the place we stayed. So this place we stayed, it was really interesting. We kind of like turned down the initial road that like went up this like winding hill to get to where we were, and there were some places that looked not so like ideal. I'll just say that. We were kind of like, all right, it looks a little sketchy. I don't know, but then it opens up into just like this huge open field, like rolling hills with mountains in the background, and the plot of land that this place was on was just absolutely beautiful. The place itself was kind of rustic, and I think we both immediately picked up on some interesting energies.
Yeah, I think was it the first night, like the exact same time, like 1:30 in the morning or something like that.
It
Like
was like two times. It was like 1:30 and then 3 in the morning or something. We both got woken up at the same time by these spirits that were messing with us.
yeah, and for me, it was like my blanket literally got ripped off of me, and I was like, I woke up in a jolt, like wide awake. I'm like, what was that? And then I'm like, oh, you guys are messing with the wrong people.
And I woke up at the same time that was happening to him. I felt like someone was like yanking on my ankles, and it just like jolted me awake. And so yeah, so I don't know if I did. I was probably out of it and sleeping. I think I called on my guys and I'm like, hey, I need some like make sure nothing messes with me. But then the second night I was laying down and we went on a long hike. I'm like, I need a good night of sleep tonight. I can't have spirit beings messing with me. So I called in one of my not new, but in this lifetime, within the past like year or so, I've been connecting with the Norse gods a lot more. So I called on Thor, and I'm like, Thor, is there anything you can do to just keep these beings from messing with us? And he goes, oh, don't worry, I know a guy. And he he calls and summons this like big Viking berserker, which like if you're not familiar, like the berserkers were these just like crazy, like just powerful warriors, but like they didn't care. They were all just about killing and for the ecstasy of like being in the moment of the craziness of battle. and and I'm like, hey, I'm like, I don't want to, like I don't want anything too crazy happening here. I just like I just don't want to be woken up. Thor's like, yeah, don't worry about it. And the berserker looks at me and he's like, kind of wondering. He's like, you took me out of Valhalla for this? What's going on? And then Thor whispered something into his ear. I don't know what it was. And then he just goes, oh, okay. And he's like, I've got you, red bearded man. Don't worry about it. and then that night we were sleeping, and I initially felt something energetically happen. I got woken up, and then it was like boom, like, and then everything just stopped. And I was like, all right, I'm not gonna think about it. And then I went back to bed, and and then we didn't have any problems after that. So I guess the berserker took care of whatever was going on. So,
well, there was also the day that you went up. There was like, here's the house was here, and then you could walk kind of up, and there were all these trees that were in a line. And I think Casey went up to do like a little ceremony, and like when he got there were like these flies like messing with them, and all like you just couldn't focus and do anything ceremoniously. And later we went up to do a despacho, and I had the awareness that there was maybe some not so great things that happened on the land, and the land needed facilitation, and we did that, and then the despacho was like no problem. We just wanted to get through it. So there was definitely a lot of interesting energies, and there was a cemetery like all the way. Well, I didn't know there was a cemetery yet. My wife and I went out. I think that was the night where we kind of had the really good view of the Milky Way and the stars, and then the rest of the time was cloudy. But we're like walking up the path, and I see like this little girl, probably looked like maybe 4 years old, 5. I'm never good at telling kids' ages, and kind of like a nightgown, like what you would wear to bed. And you could just tell that she was earthbound for so long. I'm like, oh, are you ready to go? And like did a thing to cross her over. And then when we went exploring, like the next morning, we found like there was a cemetery and there was all kinds of stuff going on. And they were like, where is she? Where is she? I'm like, oh shit. Well, I'm not going to deal with that. I'm not going to tell them I crossed over their person. I'm like, I'm sure she'll come back from the light and like help all these folks over, but I'm not going to touch this.
Well, definitely. Yeah. It's sometimes I feel like something like that happens, and then like maybe we realize like, oh, was that the best thing to do? I'm not 100% sure, but then like you just said, that awareness you just had, like maybe she'll come back and then help them. That could have been the catalyst to just shift all of the energy around all of that.
But I was like, there's way too much drama here. We're on vacation. you guys can come back, because I call it office hours. Like once a week, I kind of just open up and like, okay, any spirits that are there, got an hour, let's do this. So, like whoever was waiting the longest can go first, and then like seeing what they need and all that. And so it's like, hey, if you guys want to show up for my office hours, you can, but other than that, I'm not touching it.
Oh, it was so interesting driving through those mountains too, and just being with Hank. We're both very sensitive, and we pick up on like the energy of things in different ways, but sometimes we'll feel the exact same thing. And it's just so fascinating to be driving along, and I'll feel like this crazy like pew thing with energy. And I'm like, whoa, did you just feel that, man? And he's like, yeah, well, this was happening over here, and there's this being over here talking about. So it was a really, really fun drive down there, and it's just like driving on the highway or through the mountains, and like simultaneously like crossing beings over and doing all kinds of things. It's really interesting.
Also, like both my kids get car sick and don't handle mountain driving at all.
Yeah.
but we dealt with it. It was all good.
Oh yeah, that was such a fun adventure. We'll have to do a whole episode just telling stories about the West Virginia trip. And the apprenticeship, we've been fortunate enough to be able to actually meet in person like every other month for like a 2 or 3 day weekend. And one of these times, speaking of like interesting things happening with reality, one of these times we went out to scout out a location to do some of the ceremonial work. And we had gone out we knew we were going to this, or we were looking for, I guess, a spot. We didn't know where. We went to like 2 or 3 different locations. We found this place. We hiked a little bit, and there was just this amazing spot, this big tree with like an opening in it that was just like a womb or something. You could like walk inside, and then there were like these big stones and like an opening. Then this intersection where like these ley lines were, and then like a cosmic ley line running like up. It was just this super powerful, very distinct, like kind of unforgettable area. And it was not that far off the main path. I mean, it was maybe a 3, 4, 5 minute walk off the main path. It wasn't like we were deep into any trails or anything.
Oh, and there were like features that you like. I remember that we did like a little Kintu ceremony, and there was like this hollow log, and I put a Kintu there, and Casey did it somewhere else. But there were such distinguished little landmarkers that you couldn't miss this the second time going back, right? But I digress.
Yeah, and so then we fast forward to the weekend where we're doing the apprenticeship. We get everyone out there. We walk off that trail. We're walking along to look for it, and we cannot, for the life of us, find this spot. We found everything else on that same trail, and we found it was only a little loop, maybe not like a 1/4 mile loop, if that. And we looked and walked all over through this area. We knew we were in the same exact area because there were some very distinct things other than that on the trail. And this area that we had found previously, that both of us distinctly recalled, did not exist. It was no longer in this reality. It just popped out of this reality bubble.
Yeah. And I said, well, I'm sure glad we weren't in it when that happened, because we would be gone for years or something like that. Shirley was checking in when we first started streaming. She was just says, hugs, Casey, and was wondering if you do in-person healing. In fact, both of us do in-person healing. If you go to the Stir Crazy Shamans website under About Us, there is a page for me. There's a page for Casey, and the link to his website's there. Or shamanswayhealing.com is the website, but I wanted to make you go through Stir Crazy Shamans because I want the web traffic. so go to stircrazyshamans.com and click through his page, and you can find Shaman's Way Healing. And very soon, Casey and I have started sharing an office, and we are going to be offering like tag team healing, I guess, or however we'll both be facilitating a healing at once, either in person or virtually. We just got to get the scheduler up. But as we settle in to our fall routine and all that, that is something we're looking forward to do. And we do that every Wednesday. That's the one thing we have done throughout the summer is our Wednesday group healing streams. So we always on Wednesday, almost always on Wednesday, because I missed this last one. But we will we'll do like a group healing session and stuff like that. So you can always tune in on Wednesdays for those too.
Yeah, and I just wanted to add to that for in-person healings, we both do sessions in North Olmsted. Well, what do I say about it? That hasn't been announced.
No, so yeah, there's a center. There's a center.
There's a center in North Olmsted where we do that. So anyway, and then, but I don't. Hank, are you offering virtual services as well?
Yep, I do.
So we both offer virtual services also. So whether or not you want to, if you're in the area or not, we offer virtual shamanic healing and other things. So there's always that there as well.
Yep, I'm just in the middle of redoing my whole scheduler, so I do like intuitive facilitation, which is kind of like life coaching, and then the shamanic healing stuff and all good stuff. It's all fun stuff.
It's so fun. I love it. Oh my gosh, I've experienced so many incredible shamanic healing since we've been on last. I mean, people with everything from like really intense emotional issues to like chronic pain, surgical pain, like bulging discs, rheumatoid arthritis, like you name it. And when these people are in the space of willingness to receive, like the shift can be almost instantaneous sometimes. And not just like the healing aspect of it, but I've realized that, if we can make those kinds of incredible changes on the physical level in a person's body, we can really shift anything in our reality, any aspect of it, whether you're looking to bring in like more abundance of like financial or relationships or whatever you're looking to do. I mean, this reality, it's all energy, and it's all just it's a play, we're all just here to have fun. It's all Puklei. And when you start to engage and play with it more, the universe becomes a little more malleable and it wants to play back. But I guess a big takeaway for me, especially through the shamanic work and the more healing I've done, is really as simple as it sounds. Love is like the most powerful force for any of this kind of work or anything. There was a time when I was doing shamanic healing where I would sit and focus so much on like trying to manipulate the energy field and like pull this out and extract that and do all this interesting, really complex visually, energetically stuff. And then I realized, if I just sit there and hold the space of just the most powerful, spacious love I can feel, and I send the request out, hey, spiritual beings who are with me, my guides, all that, like, do your thing. And I just send out love. And like, that's where the most powerful healing happens every time, is just sending out as much love as you possibly can.
Yeah, I love in Lomi Loma, they say the job of the healer isn't to do the healing, it's to witness the miracle that's already there.
Yeah.
And you're just holding the space and it all can shift around itself. That's really fun.
Yeah, absolutely. It is. It really is just holding the space. And I just feel so grateful. A big part of this year for me has been, how to put it, like developing and deepening relationships with, human friends and teachers, as well as the spirits, like big time. I've made so many connections with new magical, incredible friends, but physically human friends, but also like these spirits that I've been introduced to, just working with them, giving them my love and gratitude, and them sharing their love and gratitude back for giving them space to be present in the world and to show up in the world again, has been really incredible. And it's just so amazing. I used to think of things in kind of like this terms of like I used to say like the alchemical law of equivalent exchange, but I don't really like that anymore. Like what you put energy out there and it comes back, right? But in this tradition we have Aini, and so it's not necessarily like equivalent exchange at all. It's like, for example, if you're sending out love to someone, you're going to receive back way more than you sent out. And in doing that, you're going to give out way more than you sent the next time you send it out. And it just keeps building and building in this incredible way until everything just becomes more magical than you could ever imagine it possibly being.
Right. And also just an understanding that it is sometimes a different thing you get back. And we use the example of trees and us. We give off carbon dioxide, the trees give off oxygen. So it's about the flow. But if either the trees held on to all the oxygen or we held on to all the carbon dioxide, neither of us would survive. And that's the example of Hucha. Like when you hold on to anything, good or bad, right or wrong, whatever, it can create the stagnation, this heaviness that occurs. It's about just being in exchange and flow with everything and being the conductor of the symphony of the universe.
I did a healing for someone the other day, and they were talking about how I picked up on this. They were feeling really drained of energy, had some physical pain and things, and I just got this sense that this person was such a loving, giving, compassionate, magnanimous person, but that they did not like, and there was all this, I could feel this energy of this love and abundance and all this stuff just on the outside, like pressing in, like wanting to come in to her heart and into her life. And she was just kind of blocked off to it. Like she didn't feel worthy to receive all of that. And so I brought that up and I explained that to her. It's like, I feel like there's so much that wants to come rushing back to you to fill you up. And she's like, that's exactly it. She's like, sometimes I don't really feel worthy and all this interesting stuff. And so that's an example right there. She was out of Aini. She was giving all this love, compassion, being so generous to everyone. But she wasn't willing to sit there and receive that back. And so that imbalance was causing so much hooch of her to the point where it was like she had no energy, had physical pain that was manifesting in all kinds of interesting ways. And going back to like a biological kind of example, I was thinking like a really extreme example of that. Like you were talking, if we we breathe out CO2, bring in more oxygen from the environment, all that stuff. If you tried to hold on to all of your oxygen and you didn't expel any CO2, what happens? You're going to die very quickly. You won't survive very long. And same thing if you But I was going to try and give an example the other way.
So with the energy thing, it's the same way. It's just not as quick. So if you're out of balance, it builds and builds and builds to the point where whatever the issue is, whatever the imbalance is so egregious and huge that you can no longer ignore it, and you choose something different. Yeah. So it becomes a question of when do you get sick and tired of being sick and tired? It will happen eventually, this lifetime or next. But the more conscious you are, you can fast track all of that, and you don't have to have lifetimes worth of stuff.
I just saw this comment. Shirley said, Casey, slow down when you're talking too fast.
Casey's talking too fast? Usually I'm the one talking too fast.
I know. That's why I was so shocked by that. Oh, man.
Maybe she meant to type Hank. I don't know. Yeah.
But Mary says, hi. Hello, Mary. And then Dr. K says, flow of life. Got to inhale and exhale. Yes, absolutely. Oh.
No, but let's see what else, or is that it? Because we said we were going to do a short episode. My kids are off of school today, so it's like we're going to do, I don't know what we're going to do. I'm probably going to have to do work, so maybe we should stream longer.
Yeah, well, there you go. Yeah, I'm cool with hanging out. I was going to say, I have a very like this weekend we've got all the apprenticeship stuff. And it's just going to be so much fun. I'm looking forward to it. But then today I have like nothing. Like yesterday was a full day, and then today I just have a free day. And so I was trying to get Hank to go on a hike with me, but he was busy.
No, well, if I can convince them to not work and go on a hike too. But the thing is, since I'm gone on the apprenticeship weekend, that means they have to work the whole weekend, and I'm get out of it.
Oh, there you go. So no, an interesting thing too. Like I have this awareness that all this work that Hank and I are doing is going to like really take off, and we're going to be so busy. Like all this new stuff we're working on is just going to be really, really huge. And I've had like the first half of this month for me was very slow compared to my past few months, and so I kind of get antsy, and I'm like, oh, what can I do? But then I start to think. I sit down. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to look back on this. I'm going to be so grateful for this downtime because I have a feeling that I'm going to be so busy with spreading this healing magic to the world that I'll still always take time to take care of myself. But it'll just be different. I don't think I'll have as much of this kind of laid back, like, several days a week where I don't have a whole lot going on. It's all good stuff. I take that as a sign.
Yep. And Shirley did mean that you were talking too fast. She must be used to me. I talk too fast all my life.
Oh, yeah. That's funny. That is funny.
Very good. So, all set? Are we done? I don't feel like anything's popping up to talk about now. So maybe that's it.
All right. Yeah. I guess so. Short and sweet.
Short and sweet. But check out right below. You can see it there, stircrazyshamans.com. All of our podcasts, all of our videos are all on that website. You can watch everything. And we also have some playlists now. So if you go on the website, there's like a playlist with all the special guests and stuff like that, which is really those are some of the favorite episodes when we have guests on.
And if you're watching from YouTube, you can just go right from here and on our channel. We have all kinds of like these episodes. We have if you want to watch more like this, we've talked about so many incredible, amazing things in the past, but then we also have our group healing sessions on there. So there's a ton of really great stuff on the YouTube channel. If you just, you have some time, you want to hang out and just really fill yourself up with more of that magic. It's a great thing to do. So, make sure you subscribe, all that good stuff.
Yep. Cool. Well, thank you so much. We will be coming on sooner, maybe next Tuesday.
Yeah.
So now we've officially planned it. We'll be back, if not sooner, next Tuesday with another episode of Stir Crazy Shamans. Until then, thank you so much. And may your life be full of Puklei, sacred play.
A Nike, a Nike, a Nike.